your grandfather's sister Mary told me that Grandpa Upton sent your grandfather Chuck and his brother Ken out to bring the cow, or maybe it was cows in. There was a storm coming. He got the family into the cellar and sent your grandpa and Uncle Ken out to get that cow, and off they went. And before they got back with the cow, the tornado was on them. And they laid down in a ditch, according to Aunt Mary, and just held on to the grass. And that storm blew over, and Grandpa Upton had Grandma and the rest of the kids down there, and I guess Grandma was a fit to be tied. She was trying to get out to go get her boys, as she called them, and Grandpa had to put his arm around her waist and hold her back, or she was going to go out in that storm and get her kids. And evidently everything was okay because we're here now. But I thought that it was interesting, to say the least. But then your Grandpa Chuck was terrified of storms after that. He always would be the first to go to the cellar.
And I am telling Uncle Joe's version of the 1945 Oklahoma tornado. Uncle Joe was my father's brother, the youngest boy in the family. And as he was only 4 years old, he didn't remember a lot. But what he did remember probably would have been other people's storytelling versions over the years. But Grandpa Upton, Chuck Upton, and his brother Ken had been sent out to bring the cows in. And then they heard a loud roaring. And your great-grandpa Upton went out to look at the sky. He thought it was planes because it was end of wartime. He thought bombers were coming over. And then he saw that it was a tornado coming. And so he came in and he told Grandma Upton to get the kids down to the cellar. And they all went down to the cellar. I asked him about the cellar, what it was like, and if great-grandpa Upton had built it. And Uncle Joe said that he had, with the boys, the older boys from his first marriage. And it was a construction that had telephone poles in each corner of the four corners and a telephone pole in the middle. And I assumed that the walls must have been dirt, but they may have been packed with some kind of lining. I didn't ask him that. The roof, however, was like railroad ties, and it had tin that had been pounded over the railroad ties that had been nailed in with like the old railroad tie nails. And on each corner then it had a concrete block, like those would save it from a tornado, I don't know, but they had a concrete block on each corner of the roof. So they were all down there. He said he remembered that the door blew off of the storm cellar. It took the roof off too. And when Grandpa Upton, Chuck Upton, and his brother Ken got back, they saw an old quilt laying in the yard. And they thought that it was Grandma at first. They didn't think that she had made it to the shelter, so that really scared them, until they saw that everybody was safe. They headed for a ditch, and it was very vague. His memories were vague on that. He said that Grandpa Upton, Chuck, got hit on the head with something, but he said it was just like a glancing blow. It didn't really hurt him bad or anything.